Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk about Black History Month, the month that is a celebration of my people, because I am a black man and everything. And it's about all our accomplishments, all the oppression that we have gone through over like centuries of living in like America and stuff like that. So I'm here today to talk to you about 17 Again, the 2000 TV movie from Showtime. So this movie stars that of Tia and Tamara and Taj Mowry, and it was produced by their mother. I think her name is Darlene Mowry, and Hallmark actually helped make it and stuff. And a lot of people get the assumption that this is a Disney Channel movie because it used to air on Disney Channel at some point in time. And that's where it had it like a big boom, a more success on Disney Channel. But indeed, in fact, it is not that of a Disney Channel movie. It's actually Showtime. And oh my God, dude, some of the edits Disney Channel had to make because there aren't really no curse words, nothing like that in the movie. The thing is, there's a lot of adult reference in this movie, especially about sex education, where they use the P word to describe a man's thing. And I'm just like, oh, Disney had to edit the crap out of that movie and stuff. But they didn't have to do much edit, because it's not like it's a raunchy comedy or nothing like that. But there are some innuendos and talking about booty and getting some honeys and stuff like that. Oh boy. But anyways, anyways, I have just now watched this movie. Like, it came out years ago, but I never really paid no attention to it because I don't even think I saw it on Disney Channel. Like, not even a promo or nothing. No, wait. I caught the ending when they jumped into the pool. And I didn't know why they jumped into the pool until I saw them get old again. So every time this would come on TV, I kept missing it and everything. So I was never able to see it from the beginning. Then it was on like Roku channel app or something like that. And I was like, some of my family members that came over and I wanted to keep them distracted. So I had them watching and stuff. And you can find this pretty much on any free streaming app. It's on Roku TV, it's on Tubi, it's on like tons of them, right? But you can also get it on DVD because it comes in the complete box set of Sister, which I got. So this was a nice little bonus and everything. And this is a really good, really charming, very pleasant movie. Now, it's not perfect, because some of the writing could have been stronger and some things could have been explained a whole lot better. But for the most part, this is a really good movie. And, it's always great to see the Maury twins in something. I love them so much from Sister, even though I'm disappointed in one, because Tamara made some homophobic statements back in the day when she was on, what was it, The Real, I think it was called. And it's really disappointing to see her make those kind of comments, especially in the 21st century. And, I know she's super religious, which is probably why she said it, but that's not no excuse. It reminds me of that woman from Full House, Candace, who uses her religion to sprout hate and crap like that against like other cultures, like, the LGBT. And it's really disappointing even more because, from what I've heard from Tia, they've experienced a lot of racism back in the day when they was growing up, especially when they was on Sister. So to see them be discriminated because of the color of their skin, it's sad to see her discriminate people because of their sexuality. And I expected better from her, but so I'm extremely disappointed in her. But Tia was always my favorite growing up, so she hasn't said anything bad yet. But she will clap back at you, especially if you get in her love life, because a lot of her fans, you know how celebrities and fans are. Fans, for whatever reason, think they own celebrities and they own their dating life. And she let them know straight up, she's in control of her dating life, and ain't nobody gonna have no influence on that. And it was funny seeing her go back and forth with this one fan of hers that's female, because you can tell the fan was kind of like, I'm a fan of yours. Why are you saying this to me? And it's because you got in her business. If her and her husband aren't together no more, then that's that. You know what I'm saying? And so it was also good to see Taj like act and stuff. I remember when I first saw that dude in Full House, and like I still just remember that tiny little head, that squeaky little voice. You know what I'm saying? That hairstyle and everything. Like, ah man, that takes me back to the good old days of the '80s and the '90s. But I never saw him in Smart Guy. I didn't have cable, so I was unable to watch it on the WB. And this movie takes nods from him being a Smart Guy, because he plays a young genius and everything. And also, I remember him as the voice of Wade in like Kim Possible, boy, I tell you. But Sister, that was my show back in the day. Until they went to college and then went on the WB. It just never felt the same after that. Like, when shows go to other networks, they never feel the same. But I get it. They was in college. It had more of a mature vibe, but it was just different. You know what I'm saying? And so, just like with Sabrina the Teenage Witch, I did not like that at all when they went to college, boy. Like, them college seasons just always do it. Like, I don't know, man. It's weird. Same thing with Modern Family. When all those kids went off to college, it just wasn't the same no more. Same with The Middle. It's just like, I don't know. I truly believe when your young stars get old enough to go to college, I think it's time to end the show. It's just never the same no more, because you expect them to be wacky, and now they're mature, and it's just weird to see that, you know? Like I said before, a sitcom isn't the place for character development. A sitcom is for you to be how you were in the beginning to how you are in the end. Now, in a drama and stuff like that, yeah, you gotta have character development for that. But for a sitcom, it's a weird transition to go from like a wacky role to like a more serious role. And so, like, it was also good to see them in this movie, because I haven't really seen them in much since Sister. I saw them in Twitches. I saw them in Are You Afraid of the Dark, where Tia played like a normal girl, and Tamara was like a lizard that bit her finger and got cloned to look like her and was evil. It was a weird episode. That's back when they was on Sister with their curly hair. And so, like, other than that, I've seen them in Twitches. I've seen them in Sister, like I said, in the Are You Afraid of Dark? This movie, but other than that, I really haven't seen them much in their individual roles. I know Tamara was in, like, Strong Medicine the last 2 seasons, but I've never watched that show. And I know Tia was in The Game, but I've never seen that. I did see her in Instant Mom, but I've only seen a couple of episodes, because by the time I like found that show on Paramount Plus, my subscription was expiring and I didn't feel like renewing it. But I'll finish watching it once like all these Star Trek shows start to wrap up and stuff like that. And Instant Mom is like a throwback to like the 80s and 90s sitcom Family and stuff, where she's a trophy mom who married into like a family where she had stepkids and stuff like that. It was on Nickelodeon of all things. And I'm just like, a trophy mom show on Nickelodeon. It was something they would do something different back then. This was like, they had like a mom slot where like all these mother shows and reality stuff like that. But Instant Mom was the highest one of them all, and the only reason why it got canceled is because they decided, all right, let's just end this whole Nickelodeon mom type thing, because it's just not working out. But that was like the only show that got like high ratings and stuff, and all the other ones didn't do so well. And and when I was watching this movie, just like when I was watching Twitches, I realized something. I've never seen the Maury twins in any type of theatrical movie. I've only seen them in like a couple of TV movies. I thought that was so odd. So I looked up their resume, and they've barely done movies. I think Tia's done a bit more movies, about like 6, and Tamara's only done like 3 or 4 or something like that. And they mostly do TV stuff. And I was always like, that's kind of odd and weird. Because I was thinking to myself, because there's a movie I'm about to review for Valentine's Day. And just about every teen and young adult star from the 90s is in that movie, except for them and a whole bunch of others too. And then I was thinking, the 90s was an interesting time. Because of Scream, a lot of teen movies were getting made at that time from the late 90s and early 2000s. Like, teen horror, slasher, and comedy and romance movies and stuff. And I'm like, where were the Maury twins and all that? But then I stopped and realized something. I didn't see them, but I also didn't see that Sabrina girl either. I also didn't see the Clueless TV actress. I also didn't see the Full House girls and stuff like that. Or Step by Step, or Family Matters. And then I'm like, oh, okay, that's right. Things were different back then. See, for the most part, you would rarely ever see a teen TV star in a movie back then, because mostly TV stars kept the TV and movie stars kept the movies and stuff. Now it's different, to where any popular teen TV star will appear in a movie now, or just a TV star in general and stuff, because they want that, fan base interaction and stuff. But back in the 90s, it wasn't like that. Like the lady who did Sabrina, she was only in, I think, Drive Me Crazy, and that's about it. And then she had like a small role in that movie I'm gonna review soon. And that's about it. And then as for the Full House people and the Family Matters people, you see them in movies and stuff. I forgot TV shows were really different back then. Like, Hollywood just didn't want TV stars and stuff. And to be fair, a lot of TV stars have a hard time transitioning into movies. It's like TV acting and movie acting is really different. I'm going on 11 minutes. I ain't talking about this movie yet. Anyway, but I really enjoy Tia and Tamara's acting in this movie, and I really wish they'd done more movies and stuff. And it was also nice to see Tamara take on more of a serious role, because normally in the stuff I see her in, she always plays the wacky, silly one, or the one who's not so bright with big, facial expressions and stuff like that. It was nice to see her more in a drama type thing. And she did really well. Tia, I've noticed something about her. Other than Instant Mom, she always plays the responsible one, or the smart one, or the moody one. And Twitches, she was the smart, moody one and responsible one. And Sister, she was like that as well. And here, she's just moody and everything. It's almost like she gets typecast in a way. I wonder who is the mean twin and everything. It makes me wonder and stuff. Yeah. So this movie deals with, it's like a fantasy comedy, bit of a romance movie. Basically what it is that Taj's character, who is Willie, he's like a super genius, similar to how he was in Smart Guy. And here he rides like a dirt bike, and he's like a super genius, and he's creating some type of de-aging formula or something like that. And this is the part where I said this movie isn't perfect. He's barely in the movie. I wish he was in it more. And I wish they would have shown him actually doing some scientific something. You know what I'm saying? Because in the beginning of the movie, you are mistaken to think this is a Disney Channel movie because of the way everything's playing out. He's on a computer. He's in his lab. He's talking to 2 other scientists on the computer. And his experiment goes wrong, and it kind of starts to explode, and the fire department comes in, and they have to literally drag him out as he's kicking and screaming, not wanting to leave. And I'm just like, are you sure this isn't a Disney Channel movie and stuff? And so we don't know what exactly he created, because we don't never see him create anything. And so the chemicals mixed into the soap. So the de-aging formula is inside the soap. Then his parents show up, and then it's kind of like, in the rest of the movie, like I said, he's barely in it. He mostly plays like the type of brother who doesn't get along with his sister, so he's basically like that for a couple of minutes. Then when he realizes what his soap has done, he has to make a formula to correct it. And so we don't even get to see him make the antidote. We just see him put his dog in like a tub of water, and then he pours something in the water, but we don't never see him create it. And when he comes up with when his dog turns into a puppy, later on and towards the end of the movie, he's all like, he's using like a bunch of scientific, like mumbo jumbo, Star Trek type stuff, but they don't. But it's stuff we already knew. We knew the soap causes you to de-age. You don't gotta reiterate that. But then he talking about, oh, something will break down until like you die. So and then it's kind of like, well, how did he come to that solution? It'd be nice to see him do some scientific something to see him get to that conclusion. But the movie doesn't do that for some bizarre reason. And I get it, it's about like a 90-minute movie, but at least throw that in. And then we see him on his dirt bike heading to like the high school prom and everything. And it's just kind of like, why is he riding a dirt bike? I get it, his family's rich, but like, why does he have a dirt bike as young as he is? And like, it's like they're trying to make him the cool kid, but we don't know exactly why he's the cool kid, other than being like really smart. Wouldn't he be like the dopey, nerdy kid or something like that? And so like, who does he turn young exactly? Well, he turns his grandparents. So their family moved from California to Connecticut. And Tia's character, I think her name is Ashley, I think it is. Um, oh, by the way, this movie is directed by Jeffrey W. Bird. And so, what is her name in this movie? I forgot. No, Ashley's the other girl, the mean girl. I think is it Sydney? Yeah, Sydney, that's it. Sydney hates being there. Her dad has remarried. Oh, by the way, I just found this out. Philip Jarrett, who plays the father, he has sadly passed away. May he rest in peace. The grandparents are still alive though. And so he has remarried. And we get the hint that she does not like her stepmom. But why exactly? It was never explained why she doesn't like her stepmom. But her real mom died a few years ago, so it's the whole being replaced thing. And so, like, she doesn't like living in Connecticut, even though they live in a mansion. Their family is super rich, but we don't know how or why they're rich. And so, like, it would have been nice to explain that as well. Like, what the father and the mother went on a trip, but I forgot what kind of trip it is, and what kind of business does he own to be like this rich and everything. But basically, she doesn't really like it because she doesn't really. Well, she says she misses all her old friends and new school and stuff like that. But we see that she has a friend at this new place. I don't know what she's complaining about. Like, it's not really all that clear why she doesn't really like it there. And that's the problem with the movie. It would be nice to know more other than her just saying she misses her old school, her old friends. But then she has a really good friend here, and she has a guy she crushes on. But other than that, like, what's her problem? Now, one thing that's a problem is that the mean girl, Ashley, played by Maya Campbell, man, I can't believe how her life has turned out. It's so sad and tragic. She's alive, but boy, she has so much promise and everything. And so, like, Maya has like a brother named Todd, and not Maya, but Ashley has a brother named Todd. And so Sydney crushes on Todd. Well, doing the dance routine and everything, she doesn't like Ashley and all this. Ashley doesn't like Sydney and all this other stuff. So she's like the Regina George of like the school. So anyways, the grandparents and stuff, they use the soap to take a bath and shower with. By the way, I did not like seeing the grandfather showering out. I did not. No, I did not need to see that. Him scrubbing his body down. Like, no, 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 no. Okay, no. But anyways, they use the soap, and of course it's a de-aging formula, so they de-age the next day. Now the grandparents are divorced and they hate each other. The grandmother really cannot stand the grandfather and vice versa. And so, like, the grandmother, her name is Kat, and she's played by Hope Clark. And Gene Roberts Hooks plays, no, Robert Hooks plays Gene, the grandfather. So we don't get much of the grandparents, the older ones, but then, they transform. And so the grandmother transformed when she wakes up in the bed, but the grandfather, who took a shower later, he doesn't transform until he's driving the car. And he is pulled over by a cop. And the white cop is kind of really rude to him and stuff. Like, I understand when he pulled out the license, a teenage boy, he pulls out a license and it's that of an old man. He assumes the car might be stolen or something like that. But I don't know why he would come to the conclusion that the car is stolen just because he pulled out the wrong driver's license and didn't really ask. So it's basically a chase. And then so the grandfather, Gene, realizes, holy crap, I am young, and not only that, but I can like run really fast again and jump over stuff and and stuff like that. And the grandmother, she's just freaking out. So she heads to the school where she finds another bully and doing the whole like, girl, I will like, put you in your place and all this other stuff. You don't talk to a grown woman like this. And so of course the bully punches the crap out of her. Where she goes to the bathroom and she meets that of her granddaughter. And, it's interesting to see the differences of how the two elder people act when they're younger. The grandmother is like eating as much food as possible and don't have to worry about like, taking all these pills for indigestion and stomach aches and stuff like that. And it really does make you stop and think like just what old people have to go through. Like, I'm getting old now. It is so hard sometimes just to bend down and pick up something. Like, what the heck is wrong with my knees? My back is always hurting. If I move my wrist just a certain slight way, like it's hurting for like the next couple of minutes or hour or something like that. If I stand a little too hard in one spot, like my ankle or knees are messed up. And so it's interesting to see the different grandparents go through like, what it's like to be 17 again. Because the grandfather, like, he ends up like hanging out with these two idiotic ghetto boys because like it's a very urban movie, and I do like how this movie is predominantly black, but then you also see other races in there too. But everybody at the school is pretty much ghetto. There's a ghetto Jewish guy, there's a ghetto Asian girl, there's a ghetto Latino, there's an Afro Latino and stuff like that. Everybody's ghetto at this school for the most part. And the ghetto Jewish boy, oh my God, dude. What was that Malibu Most Wanted with Jamie Kennedy? He acts kind of like him. And pretty much every other like white ghetto guy you've ever seen in a movie trying to act black. It is hilarious and annoying at the same time. So they realized that the grandfather's like Babe Magnet, and like he's getting like all these women and girls, or actually girls I should say, like coming on to him. So then they start like getting numbers and stuff. So he basically just hangs with them, and they use him to just like get like girls and stuff, but they have no real goals in life other than getting girls and like playing video games. And when they playing video games, he's just kind of like, you gotta go outside, you gotta experience life. So he's realizing, while it's fun to be young, because he don't want to turn back old again, he's realizing that all these new teens are just like throwing their lives away and not like going outside. I remember my uncle did that crap to me once because I was always on the computer when I was in college. And he's all like, go outside, like throw a ball around, do something. I didn't want to do that. Like, it was like when the internet was like at its height, what I'm saying, in the 2000s and stuff. And I was going to experience the internet for all it was worth. And now I'm kind of like that with my nephews and stuff, because all they want to do is sit down and watch TV and stuff, and I'm just like, go outside or something. So it's funny how when you get older, you get that way, because my uncle wasn't that way either. He was always, well, you know, he was always out and about, but anyway. So, like, he's loving being young. The grandmother, on the other hand, she likes the idea of eating food, but you can tell she wants to be back to her normal self. Well, of course, you know, people start being interested in them. And so the guy, Todd, mistakes her for Sydney and asks her out. So she say, yeah. But she tells Sydney, look, man, I'll go on a date with him, have a little dinner. When it's time to start dancing and stuff, this is when we make the switcheroo. But then the grandmother is having too much fun, bumping and grinding on the dance floor, and Sydney sees that and gets upset and just runs out. And so at the club, you know, also Ashley and Jean are there, and Gene runs out because he sees Kat run out because she's looking for Sydney. But they end up going to like a jazz blues type bar where we see people swing dancing. That was always fun. And plus we get the cameo from Boys to Men. Boys to Men also produced this movie. And so both like Gene and Kat, they realize they still have feelings for each other. Even though they can't stand each other, they get jealous when they see them with somebody else. And so like the thing is like we finally now find out why they hate each other so much. Basically, when they was married, he got a job in Australia. He wanted to go, she didn't. So she told him to go there and she will follow like a couple of months later. But she never did, and then they filed for a divorce. Him so dedicated to his work made her and moving to like another country just made her fall out of love with him, and then she kind of pushed him away by acting so crabby at the fact that he would want to go to another country and work at this job instead of be there with her. And so that would cause them two to break up. And then it's kind of like you see this kind of parallel between her and Sydney, where Sydney doesn't like being in a new place and she's miserable, and the grandmother was miserable not being with her husband as he was in a different country. And so, of course, you know, they get back together and everything. And then as like Kat is dying, you know, in comes Willie with like the antidote. They throw it in the pool and then they hop into the pool and then they turn back old again. Now, it was nice to see like, you know, when they was younger doing the swing dancing. I don't know if it was entirely them or like dance stunt people, but it was nice to see. Like this movie just has so much like life to it and it's nice and charming. But then when you get to the end, it's like, you know, the parents come home and the dad's taking like a bath and then they realize they took out the like tainted soap. And like, you know, it just ends after that because they rush into like the bathroom to stop him. And but one problem I have with this movie is that you kind of learn life lessons and you kind of don't. Because for the most part, Sydney didn't really learn no like real life lesson other than don't be miserable and try to accept your new surrounding. But it wasn't really focused on a whole lot stronger. It could have been focused a whole lot stronger than what it was. We don't really get to see too much interaction with the grandfather when he's young, so we don't know what the world he's learning or any like problems he had other than like him not liking like, you know, his ex-wife. But then when he leaves those two like idiot guys, he tells them like, you know, life isn't all about girls, you know, go out, experience life and this and that. And they're all like, man, he's crazy. Like it is about the girls. They didn't learn nothing. And we don't know what the grandfather learned other than like him being jealous and actually missing his wife. And, you know, and as for the grandmother, did she even learn anything? Because she didn't really learn anything at all. So it's kind of odd because nobody really learned anything in this movie. So that's why it's just kind of like, you know, it's a really good movie, but it's like, you know, it's a little flawed here and there. I just wish the writing could have been a whole lot stronger in its messaging and stuff. But all in all, this was a really charming movie. It's really fun to watch. Like I said before, it's on every streaming site. You can find it somewhere. Happy Black History Month, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye.